everybody for the second lecture of the human brain. You know good way that human brain is divided into three parts. It is forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. In that forebrain, in the first lecture in the previous class is about the forebrain, and in that today's lecture that is a part of the forebrain, that is the cerebrum. Okay, that is today's cerebrum. Today's topic that is about the cerebrum. This is completely we will take the knowledge about the cerebrum. You know good way that cerebrum, that is the largest part of brain. This means the cerebrum forms the major part of human brain. Here you are also seeing that largest part of brain called cerebrum, that is the 80% of total. Okay, and a deep cleft divide the cerebrum into two parts, left and right cerebral sphere. You can see here that this is the cerebrum, and a deep cleft divide the cerebrum into two parts, left and right cerebrum hemisphere. Okay, you know that cerebrum, that is the largest part of brain, that is the 80% of total. Okay, and next, that is the a deep cleft divide the cerebrum into two parts, left and right cerebral hemisphere. Okay, and that is called median sphere. This means median sphere that divide the cerebrum into two parts, left and right cerebral hemisphere. This means median sphere that separate both hemisphere. Okay, next, that is this hemisphere are connected by a nerve fiber called corpus callosum. Okay, here you are seeing that this is the left cerebral hemisphere and this is the right cerebral hemisphere. Okay, and next find that is the extended up to midbrain. Cerebrum, that is the largest part of brain, 80% of total, and that cerebrum is extended up to midbrain. Okay, and cerebrum divides in left and right cerebral hemisphere by median fissure. Okay, median fissure, and each hemisphere divide in cortex and medulla. Each hemisphere is divided into two parts. This means left and right cerebral hemisphere is divided into two parts. Each hemisphere, medulla part and cortex part. Okay, cortex and medulla. Cortex, this part is called the cerebral cortex. This means peripheral part of hemisphere. Peripheral part of hemisphere is cerebral cortex. That's color is gray. Due to that is called gray matter. Okay, this means cortex, cerebral cortex part, that is peripheral part of hemisphere is cerebral cortex part, and that is gray, that is also called gray matter due to grayish appearance. Okay, and cerebral medulla, this means each hemisphere is divided into two parts, cortex part and medulla part. This means cerebral cortex part and cerebral medulla part. This part is called the cerebral cortex part, and central part, that is central part, inner part of cerebral hemisphere is the cerebral medulla, and that is white matter. That is also called white matter due to the appearance of white color. Okay, this means central part of cerebral hemisphere is called cerebral medulla. That's color is white. Due to that, cerebral medulla is also called white matter. This means inner part of cerebral hemisphere is called central cerebral medulla, and parietal part of hemisphere is called cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex, that is also called gray matter due to grayish appearance, and cerebral medulla is called white matter due to white appearance. Okay, next, that is Frontal, parietal, each hemisphere divide into cortex and medulla, and each cortex, this part is called the cortex part, not a central part, because central part is the medulla part, that is the inner part of cerebral hemisphere. Okay, so this means the cerebral cortex, each cerebral cortex of each hemisphere is divided into four lobes: frontal lobes, parietal lobes, temporal lobes, and occipital lobes. Each hemisphere cortex part is divided into four parts: frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. Okay, each cerebral hemisphere is divided into four parts: frontal part, parietal part, temporal part, and occipital part. Okay. Okay. And next, that is here, that this is the figures of cerebral cortex of one hemisphere. Here you are seeing that figure, the cerebral cortex of one hemisphere. Okay, here this part, you know that each hemisphere is divided into four parts: frontal part, parietal part, temporal part, and occipital part. This is the spinal cord. Okay, and this part is called the medulla and cerebellum. This is the cerebellum, and this is the cerebral cortex of one hemisphere. Cerebral cortex of one hemisphere. Here this is the occipital lobe. Okay, occipital lobe. This parieto-occipital fissure. This is the parieto-occipital fissure that divide the parietal and occipital lobe. Parieto-occipital lobe. This is called the parieto-occipital fissure because parieto-occipital fissure that divide, that separate parietal and occipital lobe. Due to this, its fissure's name is parieto-occipital lobe. Okay, next, that is the central fissure. This is a central fissure that divide the parietal, that divide the frontal and parietal lobe. Okay, central fissure that divide the frontal and parietal lobe. Next, that is the lateral or sylvian fissure. This is also called sylvian fissure, lateral or sylvian fissure. Here you are seeing that sylvian. This is the sylvian fissure, and sylvian fissure that divide the frontal and parietal lobe, and above frontal and parietal lobe, sylvian fissure that divide frontal and parietal lobe above temporal bone. Sylvian fissure that divide frontal and parietal lobe above temporal lobe. Okay, and this depression part, which you are saying depressed part, that is called the sulci. Sulci is a plural term, and this depression part which you are seeing, this is called the sulci, and singular is sulcus. Okay, and this upper part which you are lobe like you are seeing upward, okay, that part is called the gyri. Gyri is a plural word and gyrus is a singular word. Okay, this means upward lobe, which are like upward we are seeing, that is called the gyri. And depressed path, this means depression between them is called, depressed part is called sulci, and upward part, nipple like part is called gyri. Nipple like part is called gyri, and depressed part between two gyri is called sulcus. Okay, sulcus, sulci. Sulcus and sulci. Sulci is a plural.
Number of sulci and gyri increases, brain power intelligence increases.